Meet your new brother, Dylan Prescott Pickles.
I don't even think they're the same species! Alright, I have snapped. I have totally snapped. That's right, I'm all the fun of dad jokes without the dad. Even though we all know I'd make a good one. Today, we don't need to talk about Kevin, we don't need to talk about Cosby, we need to talk about the CGI Rugrats reboot. Full disclosure, somebody does need to talk about Cosby, just not me. You know, when I first heard about this reboot, I said basically what everybody said, that looks stupid and there's no chance in hell I'm watching it. When I went to LA last fall, I stopped at Nickelodeon Animation Studios, you know, to take some pictures. And there's this big billboard of the new Rugrats. My mom's like, let me take your picture with that behind you. You used to love the Rugrats when you were little. Right there, I wanted to say, Mama, there ain't no Rugrats. Even though I never watched it, I started to see clips cause, you know, the internet. And wow, these designs are utter crap. Despite being about babies, the original Rugrats were far from cute. Seriously, what the f were they thinking about Chucky? Hey boss, how do you like this? I call him Chucky. Very nice, but could you make him just a little bit more ugly? Remember, we're appealing to kids. Oh, of course, sir. If you saw kids that looked like the Rugrats, you would wonder how they survived birth. One thing I noticed upon seeing all these clips is that the two characters that were added on in the original series are completely absent. In a way, I think that was kind of good. They're starting over new. And the two later additions, Dill and Kimmy, were not exactly fan favorites. Kimmy was introduced in the 2000 feature film, Rugrats in Paris. And, well, post-Rugrats in Paris episodes, much like post-SpongeBob movie episodes, was the point that the series really jumped the shark. Even when I watched The Splat, or Nick Rewind, or the 90s or all that, how many blocks of old shows did they make? I never gave the newer episodes a chance. When I saw one diaper go up in the air, I'm like, oh, look, it's Rugrats. But when I saw two diapers up in the air, it's time to change the channel to something better.
I see you don't have a lifeguard.
That's just one example right there. You know, Kimmy really is like a little Yoko Ono. She's this girl from Japan who led to the downfall of this huge success.
That sucks.
As for Dill, a lot of people thought he was a boring character who brought nothing new to the table. I never really minded him. But of course they were going to introduce these characters eventually. That is, if the show wasn't canceled shortly after its premiere, which was a pretty good possibility considering all the hate it got. They're not going to leave out Kimmy. She brings diversity to the ensemble. And if you bring back Kimmy, you gotta bring back Dill too. But this is why I'm making this video, because of this Baby Dill teaser poster they put out. Why do they call him Baby Dill anyways? Aren't they all babies? Here it is. Just, what the fuck? I said the designs were utter crap. This is a whole new level. He looks like E.T. with ears, and one eye is bigger than the other. He doesn't look so much as a baby as he looks like an old man who has, like, surpassed the average human life expectancy and is now so brittle and decrepit that he's shrunk down to a baby-like size. I mean, if you were the obstetrician, would you let them bring this baby home? No, this thing is sick. Sorry, Miss Pickles. And in that clip I played, his eyes are like twice as big as Tommy's. So yeah, that's weird. While we're at it, let's talk more crap about this show I've never seen. Well, it's worth noting that Susie is now a main character, whereas in the original, she was an occasional guest. Again, it makes sense, they want diversity in the cast, but she's been aged down. That's actually really stupid. Susie was the most mature and smartest of the babies, which made her a pretty good representation for African Americans in kid shows. Also, she was the only one who knew how to put Angelica in her place. Oh, but Kimmy has now been aged up. Is that supposed to make up for their stupidity? Oh no, Nickelodeon, the damage is done. But I do kind of like her outfit more than the original. Like in the original, she was from Japan, but lived in Paris, but wore cowboy boots? What the fuck? Plus, Grandpa Lou is now a hippie. Of course he can't be a World War II vet in this show. He'd be dead. And Betty is now a lesbian, and Howard is completely absent here. Now that sucks. Not because they made her a lesbian, but because Howard and Betty worked so well together. Betty wore the pants and Howard was a total pansy. It worked because it didn't work, is what I'm saying. Also, everybody always joked that Betty was already a lesbian. Making her one, it's just taking away all the fun. It's like if they made Velma a lesbian. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the new Rugrats is not as bad as this hunk of dog shit. If the show continues on for a while, they about have to introduce him. Where the fuck's Howard? And I don't know if Chucky's dad marries Kimmy's mom. I kinda hope not, because they made for a really shitty couple in the first place. She's too good for him. You know, I think in the original, having Chucky's dad get remarried, that is probably the stupidest thing they could possibly do. Because, you know, some kids actually lose their moms, and there was this really popular show to show kids that they're not alone. Then they're like, nah, fuck those kids. He's getting a new mom, and you're not. So anyways, I better wrap this up. If you like this reboot, that's fine. If you like the new dill design, that's fine. I won't judge you, but I'm sure everybody else will. If maybe Howard has been on the show since I posted this video, I don't know, I don't watch it. Tell me if you know, if not, hashtag justice for Howard. And Nickelodeon, if you're watching this, next time I come to LA, let me in the freaking building. Like, really, just let me in.